Hi again folks, how you all doing? So here we go with the first repair request of 2024. This is an old Hornby N15 Sir Dinadan that was sent to me by Keith. He said it's a non-runner, so let's turn on the power. Absolutely no movement whatsoever, but it's pulling full whack on the ammeter if you turn the power up. Not good. So we'll shove it into the shed and we'll see what's up. Strings it's cold. Right, okay, let's get a look at this. Sir Dinadan. Apparently this is one of these models that upsets a lot of people because it's not particularly accurate. I don't really care about that. A lot of the Southern locomotives I think are really nice. I don't run Southern stuff in my layout, but you know there are some really nice locomotives in the Southern Railways. And you know the fact that this isn't particularly accurate doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think it's a lovely looking engine. The condition of this seems pretty good actually. There's a bit of play wear on the cylinders. Everything else looks okay. It's a bit dusty. Tender, oops, we've got an issue there on that tender wheel. I can see what it is. There should be like a plastic square cap there. That one's come off. So I think we'll probably just have to push that back through. There we go. Yeah, that'll be alright. And we'll just have to block that off somehow. Interesting thing about this is, I haven't come across this before. I knew about it, but I haven't seen it before, is the connection between the locomotive and the tender. You can just push it together like that. I think that's really good. So, what can be up with this? We'll look at the tender later. I think that just needs a bit of a clean up. And we'll sort that axle. How do we get into this? We've got a screw in the rear. Undo that. I'm guessing there's a XO4 motor in here. Nice long screw. That just comes off. Yeah, XO4 motor. Oh, well, there's the reason it wasn't running. Spotted straight away. Well, the probable reason anyway. The insulating sleeve on this clip has been pushed back, so it's shorting out. So if we shove that forward and stick a battery on it, get a wee twitch. Yeah, it's going to go. It needs a bit of a clean up. There's a lot of fluff and gunk in there. So we'll take it apart, give it all a good clean up, put it back together. I think it'll run fine. If this was mine, I'd be thinking of putting a Peter spare motor in there just to make this run quietly and smoothly. I'll put that to Keith, but you know the expense involved might not appeal. But we'll see how it runs. If it's a nice quiet runner, it'll be fine. But if it's a real noisy beast, and sometimes you just can't quieten these things down, I will suggest to Keith that he splashes out on a replacement motor. Alright, okay, so first things first, we'll disengage that. That gets the, where's my tweezers? There they are. Gets the brushes out. These brushes appear to be new. They don't appear to have been used at all. There's no wear in them whatsoever. Commutator's not horrendously dirty, but still dirtier than you would want it to be. Get my little brass screwdriver in. That'll then come out, like so. There's quite a bit of play in there, so I think this will be a noisy beast. But a lot will depend on how well balanced the armature is. So we shall see. What sort of state is the chassis in? It looks okay-ish. Let's just get a look at the back cylinder here. Yeah, that'll all clean up fine, I think. So we'll clean this up and see how it goes. Give it a good scoosh first of all. You can see the filth that comes out of it. Gee whiz. Get a pipe cleaner in here just to give that a clean out. Put a T-cut on the commutator. And give it another quick scoosh. Right, we'll let that evaporate off. Magnet's not bad, but we'll give it a blast anyway. The brushes certainly don't need cleaning, so let's have a look at this. I'll give it a scoosh out. Going over the manky brush, but it's really not too bad. Let's get this out just now. Now, I think that should be a little bit freer than it is. Bits of metal stuck in the traction magnet. Yeah. That's not right. Alright. And this rod here is kind of out of position. Gee, how's that happened? Right, I think this has had an incident. So you can see these two rods here should be parallel. See how they're at a funny angle? If you look at the other side, they're perfectly parallel. But on that side, they're not. And it's the end of this one here is not in its correct position. I think this has been broken. And this has got a little bit out of alignment. So when that slides up, it's tightening up. So it's not going to work correctly. I think the best thing to do will be to disconnect this and see if we can free that rod and reposition it. Take that out of there, and then lift off. Let's just remove that, remove these rods. And that'll then come out. Now, I'm probably going to have to let's undo that. Would have been an easier way to take that out, but anyway, let's get that out. There we go. Right. So can I put that back where it should be? Yes and no. Right, I think I'm going to have to re-drill that hole a bit. Yeah, little foreign object in there as well. It's definitely something's happened. There we go. It's a bit better. Yeah, that's how it should be. Why is it still so stiff? Well, This rod here is catching. Give it a wee bit of a bend out. Let's try a little bit of oil on the axles, but I'm not liking this. If it doesn't run smoothly, well, there we go. It just needed a wee bit of oil. That just shows you. Just hope that's not too much oil though. There is an awful lot of nasty gunk around that drive axle. I think the reason it wasn't running very smoothly there was a bit of a combination of slight problems with the rods hitting each other and just a bit of gunk in the axles. And that seems to be okay now. Just have a look at the drive gear. It seems to be in pretty good nick. No chewed teeth. Right, okay. Hopefully that's good to go. Let's get another look at the motor. It's all evaporated off. So we can get some oil into the bearings. Just either side of the thrust bearings. And the bearing at the back. Right, okay. We'll get this screw out and give this a wee blast and remagnetise it. Put that in there. Like so. That's that done. Right, see what sort of noise this makes. Just push this brush up. Slot in, like so. To make sure that that wire is not going to interfere with the armature. Right, okay. Right, we'll get a bit of grease onto the worm gear. That doesn't seem too bad actually. Okay, so I gave this a quick wee test run on the layout, and it's not as noisy as I was expecting it to be. I would say it's within the realms of acceptability for an old model like this with an X04 motor. So I think we'll leave it as is. I think what we'll do now is have a look at this tender and see what we can do about this. I need a tiny little square of black plastic. I think cable ties are going to come to the rescue yet again. Jolly useful stuff, cable tie. Let's snip that off there like that. There we go, that should secure that. Right, okay, I think we're done. I think this will have problems with going through points, going through the turnout. So I'll try and just run this through the straights of my points. So I'll probably just get run round the inner oval. But we'll go and pull out the shed. Okay then, let's bring out Sir Dinadan. So there we are, that's this old Hornby Sir Dinadan running again. It's a bit noisy, as most of these old XO4 driven models are, and it's a bit clunky and clumsy on the points, even with the frogs filed down. Personally, I think I'd want to fit one of the XO4 replacement motors from Peter's Spares to quieten this down and make it run a little smoother, but without fitting replacement wheels as well, this is never going to run super nice on modern track. So it had a short circuit caused by the insulation sleeve on the brush clip being pushed a bit too far back. The axles were pretty gunked up and the rods and valve here were a bit all over the place. Sorted all that out, cleaned it, lubed it, remagnetised it, and off she goes. Alright, folks, I shall get this packed up and sent back to Keith. Catch us later.